Hello. Thank you for inviting me here. It's a brilliant event. So, as Georgie said, we're a Restart Project. We're all about keeping electricals in use for longer. And so I just want to kind of get you all in the right headspace. So can you all please think about the last electrical or electronic thing that you had that broke? Okay. Now, put your hand up if you had a go at repairing it yourself. Keep your hand up. Right now, those of you that took it somewhere to be repaired, like so maybe a repair cafe or a repair shop, add your hands. Keep your hand up if you repaired it yourself. Okay, and then people who did something else anything else to repair it that I haven't said already. Okay, that's a smaller number than I thought. I thought you guys were engineers. Okay, you can put your hands down now. So we recently did a poll and we found that that just under 30% of people had successfully managed to repair the last thing that they did. So the rest of you that didn't put your hands up, I'm gonna guess you've maybe got it in a drawer somewhere or a cupboard and you haven't quite decided what to do with it. Or maybe those of you that are kind of proactive, you've chucked it out or you've taken it to the recycling centre. But I'd say actually that's less than a quarter of this audience who kind of managed to keep something in use for longer. No judgment here. I'm not doing this to make you feel guilty, but it's reflective of where we are. So let's step back a bit and talk about why we even care about repair. Okay, so we'll talk about the implications of how we consume. So I think we're all quite aware of waste. We all kind of you have to be when you throw something out, and most of us don't want to throw something out that you feel like it's got a bit of use in it. But e-waste or electrical waste is the fastest growing waste stream globally. The amount that we produce weighs more than the Great Wall of China, and that's annually. So you can visualize this enormous e-waste mountain. And of course that has implications. There's there are toxic elements that leach out. But then there's also the resources that go into it. So this photo here is a representation of the amount of earth that you need to dig up to get a smartphone. And of course, it's not just earth, because a lot of them are rare earth materials, which are rare. And a lot of them are needed for things like electric cars and wind turbines, as well as the phones we have. So we really shouldn't be wasting them. And there are stats there's more gold, for example, in our rubbish dumps than there are in gold mines. But that doesn't mean we can necessarily get it out very easily. But that is a reason for keeping things in use for longer. So that's why. So we want to keep things going for as long as possible in the state that they originally were which is why repair and reuse is important. But as we saw, not many people repair, and that's not, as I said, no judgment, because the system is broken. It's because of the system that we're in. So let's look at the reasons that people don't repair. First of all, things aren't made to be repaired. Some of that is planned obsolescence, and it's kind of evil manufacturers who want to sell you more stuff. But some of it is actually just forgotten, because if you want to make a really sleek, thin, really nicely looking product, then it's harder to do it for repair, and repair always falls by the wayside. So things that it's harder to repair, and just imagine those of you that are old enough to think of the early phones. You used to be able to flip out the battery and you could change it in a few minutes, whereas now it probably take you about an hour. You need 2 different types of screwdrivers, a heat gun, a special levering tool, and it's an actual repair. So things are harder to repair. It's actually hard to find places to repair. To be honest, there's lots of places to repair phones and laptops, but other things it's harder. And of course, it's a lot harder than just pressing a button and ordering something that will come the next day. So it's kind of inconvenience, and cost is the other thing. So it's not that repair particularly costs a lot, but it's just that it costs a lot compared to the cost of buying new. So, and most people obviously won't spend more than 25% of the cost of buying new on repairing a product. So if you look at a toaster that's 15 quid, it's not going to be repaired. And then it's just habit. Most of us just don't think of it, right? Me too, before I started working for the Restart Project, something breaks, you think, okay, where can I get a new one? And then you might hopefully think about repair. So there's all of these things that we've ended up in this kind of slow creep towards a throwaway economy, and it's not our fault, but we do need some innovation to kind of nudge it back to where it was. So at the Restart Project, we're trying to do that. And I'll talk through a little bit of what we do. So has anyone heard of repair cafes? Do you know what they are? Oh, okay, good. I get to tell you new things then. So we call them Restart parties because we're the Restart Project. But repair cafes they're not cafes, they're pop-up events that are run by volunteers, and you get volunteers, fixers that are there, and you can bring your broken thing and they'll fix it. And you get to be part of the process. So you get to see inside your things, and you get to learn how to fix it. So we support a network of them, particularly in London, but we're in touch with the repair cafes across the world. There are 500 in the UK, 33 in London, so there will be one near you. And you can go to that URL to find out events that if you want to go check it out. We're also aware that, as I said, there are repair shops, but you just don't really know where to go. So we've done a repair directory. There are 300 repair shops in London. Again, most of them are phone and laptop, but if you really want to get your vacuum cleaner repaired, you can find one on that. So that's all about making it easier to find repair, and we've got some fixing factories that we're setting up. But we're aware that you can't just fix this at the downstream end. We've got to, like I said, change the system. The system is a bit broken. So we've just launched, we do some campaigning in the EU where there is some actual campaigning to do because there's legislation that's going through and we're trying to make it better. In the UK, nothing is happening. So we're trying to kind of make it happen. We've just launched a repair and reuse declaration. And the idea is that after the general election, MPs will come in having heard about repair and reuse, and it will be on their radar. So we've what we're focusing on now is getting MPs to sign up to it and support it. And we're focusing on the innovative things that other countries are doing. So, for example, France and Austria have had brilliant success in introducing repair vouchers. So that's obviously increased repair rates, but it's got people into the habit of repairing, which is really cool. So we're asking for that. France has got a repair index, so it's a bit like an eco-label when you buy a washing machine, but it tells you how repairable your product is. So people can make informed choices, and that obviously nudges manufacturers into there's an incentive for them to make it more repairable. There's a whole movement around right to repair, which is essentially about removing the barriers that manufacturers put in place. So for starters, things need to be made to be repaired, but also once you've got a product, it should be easy to get spare parts, and it should be easy to get the information that you need to take things apart. But it's not. So the right to repair is about removing those barriers. But at the moment, we have it in the UK, but only for white goods and TVs. We want it for all products, and we want everyone to have access to it. We want more training. And then the last one is actually more about reuse than repair. But what we found, recently did an analysis of an e-waste bin in a waste facility, and we found that around half of it could have been kept in use with a tiny bit of repair. Some of it needed repair, some of it didn't even need repair. But that's a broken system, right? And we have recycling targets, which are currently disincentivizing waste processors and manufacturers from trying to keep things in use because they've got to meet their recycling targets, which means that things get shredded and you keep a fraction of the materials. So we need reuse targets so that not only does it stop that from happening, but also it will prompt innovation. So before we had recycling targets, no one really thought that recycling was possible at scale. But you add the targets, you add the incentives, and all of a sudden it's cheaper to recycle than to chuck it in landfill, and so the industry responds. So that's what we need for reuse, so that we are keeping things going. Okay, so this slide, we're supposed to have those URLs, which seem to have dropped off, but I saw lots of you taking photos. So what I was going to say is what you can do is, if you want to campaign for a better system, ask your MP to support the declaration. If you want to repair yourself, you can go to the Restart website and find a repair event that's happening near you or our repair directory. And then just in general, what we really want is for people just to think differently. So next time you need to replace something, can you buy something secondhand or refurbished? Or and can you donate or sell your old thing? So if we can slowly get back towards this sense of kind of keeping things in use, reducing waste, reducing the resources that go into it, and just generally valuing the stuff that we have. So thank you very much.